Welcome to the Wild Simplicity Podcast, the podcast for awakening women who are ready to shed the layers, let go of the clutter, and rediscover their wild and wonderful selves that lie beneath. I'm Anna Day, and together we'll explore how to simplify, release what's no longer serving us, and embrace the possibility of living fully in this one wild and precious life. Whether you're a dreamer, a seeker, or someone who craves doing things differently, this space is for you. Let's dive in and awaken the magic within. Hi, and welcome back to the Wild Simplicity Podcast. Lovely to have you here. And today I wanted to talk about decluttering and letting go and this beautiful Virgo season that we're in. And as at the time of this recording, we just had the new moon in Virgo yesterday. And so I'm really tapping into that energy of decluttering, letting go, simplifying. And it's a really supportive energy for me and one that I love. I love September. I love this time of year, this chance for renewal, for reappraising our life, for seeing what's in our immediate environment, what we want to have in our life, what's working, what's not working, what's outdated, what feels heavy, what feels restrictive, and let go of those things and bring in the things that allow us to feel full, expansive, bright, energized, and supported. And so yeah, I'm really feeling this lovely energy of that new moon, and I'm going to do a little ritual for myself later on with a candle and I love doing some writing, and I have a tin I use, and I write on an A4 sheet of paper, usually for the full moon what I'm releasing, but for this, because it's an eclipse as well, I'm going to be letting go of, writing down what I'm letting go of, writing down some intentions, and then burning it in the tin. And it just feels really nice to have that intention around it and have a candle lit and make it a bit more poignant and a bit more, it gives a real sense of ritual and sense of importance around taking stock at this time of year, at this point in my life, at just what's going on. And it's a really powerful thing to anchor in, to spend even a few minutes with yourself, writing down and allowing things to flow out and allowing you to really tap into your worth, tap into your sense of self. How is your worth present? Can you feel your worth? Can you feel where you're leaking energy and how you prefer it to be? So writing down what you would prefer to be in your life, how you prefer to be showing up, how you would prefer to be treating yourself and to be treated by others. And writing down these preferences and bringing them to mind can really activate things in us and allow us to shed what needs to be shed and let go of. And it's such a lovely time of year to do this as well. I mean, I love decluttering and simplifying any time of the year, but this, for some reason, this time of year, because of the Virgo energy and because, as I said, at this moment, there's the new moon eclipse, which is extra supportive. And it just, whether you follow the moon or not, you can ride this wave of allowing that to infuse you and really looking at your space, your environment that you live in. I always say that the external environment and decluttering and letting go in the external environment, or our homes, our living spaces can be a lovely catalyst for allowing things to go in our internal world, because sometimes it's harder to access those things in our internal world. So when we shift physical objects and things around in our home that carry energy themselves, that the shift in energy creates a shift in energy inside, so that external reflects the internal and vice versa as well. So it's a really nice opportunity to choose a small area, or to really go hell for leather and do as much as you want, wherever you want. Do a sweep of your whole living space and different rooms, or pick one small area that feels doable and because choosing the one small area can allow that small. It's not a big task to look at, because sometimes when we go into, I'm going to declutter the house or the home or whatever, it's like, whoa, that is way too big for the brain and body to take on. It's too overwhelming. So focusing on a drawer, and that's why I do my declutter drawer sessions. I love those circles because it's very doable. We do it in community and circle, and choosing a very small space that, once we've done that small space, then can lead on to the next space, it gets easier. So really making it as small as possible. So pick a shelf, pick a drawer, something non-emotive, like something like a junk drawer, or a drawer in the kitchen with all the utensils, or your bedside drawer, or something like that, that's going to be, or the kitchen, the bathroom cabinet, or something that's non-emotional, so that has items in it that aren't going to be like photographs or letters from over the years or anything like that, because that goes into a very, not only time consuming because you're having to read through documents and etc. and look through photos, but also the emotional aspect can be a lot. So building up that muscle with non-emotional things and really getting clear on what supports you and what doesn't support you, and what expands you and what doesn't. And okay, there's items in the kitchen, bathroom, etc. in our lives that are not, don't maybe feel so expansive, but they have a functional um, use. Like they help us live our life with ease. And so those things stay, but also with other things, what's sparking joy in you, what's having that pang of loveliness, and I want this item, versus the items that give a sense of, oh, this thing is really annoying, it doesn't quite work the way I want it to work, it doesn't function in the way I want it to function, it doesn't, a potato peeler that's slightly blunt, or that is you snip your finger every time you use it, or those type of things. Like they like do something, a simple shift like that, buying a new potato peeler, for instance, that can shift hugely your self-worth, because you're investing in yourself a few euro, a few pounds, a few dollars, to better your life and to make things easier for you, and to say that I matter, I count. Every time I use this thing on quite a regular basis, it builds up like resentment, and it might be very, very subtle, but it's building up some sort of it's having a pang and a ping of an energetic signature that is just like, it's not worth having that in your life. So having the courage to address those things that seem insignificant and seem like, oh, I can deal with it, it's fine. But you would be surprised that when you change these things and make a decision around them, or things to let go of, things that just aren't working anymore, you don't need, you've been keeping them because you think you might use them someday, let go and see what happens. And the changing and shifting from the scarcity mindset into abundance. And that happens, simplifying leads to abundance, which is kind of it's like, what, how does that, it does, because when we let go and create space, we create space for things to come into our life. So for physical things, but also for opportunities, for relationships, for energetic matches, for work, for anything to come into our life. So we really need to shift things out. And I cannot overemphasize the importance and the value in decluttering your things in your environment, because it really can shift things in your inner world, and you'll see things move around, and you'll see things start to ripple out into your internal world and what comes into your life. And it's really amazing. So while we're in this energy of Virgo, why not dabble? Why not experiment? And if you haven't decluttered in a while, get back into it. See what areas you can let go of. Where have you been holding on to heaviness and to resentment, over functioning, over giving, perfectionism, all these things that really, really zap our energy and take from us in the most, sometimes very, very subtle ways. And noticing who we're with, noticing where we're spending our time, noticing what we're watching, content we're consuming, music we're listening to, what are the words, what is the energy around all these things, and noticing when we can handle, like, not consuming unconsciously, consuming consciously. So when you want to, for instance, watch the news or whatever, make sure you're doing it in a block of time that is where you are feeling in your nervous system that you're able for it, and that you're centered and grounded, rather than just allowing it to hit you, and you feel like you're being bashed around during the day and you're left at the end of the day completely withered. So really being conscious about what is around us in our environment, and also energetically, and what we are listening to, receiving messages, etc. I went on, I think it was yesterday, the day before, I went through another unsubscribe of my emails, because my Gmail account was backed up with many, many emails from August when I was away, because I wasn't checking my emails really. I didn't have my laptop with me when I was away. I found it harder to do on my phone, but I had like just so many, the counter was just going up and up, and it's like, oh gosh. So I was going through the emails and searching for the ones, I'd find one that I'm like, okay, that doesn't really resonate too much anymore, I don't need that at the moment. And so searching for that particular email and deleting all the ones that were there, because what I tend to do is like, oh, I'll read that, I'll go back and read that, I'll go back and read that. Some of them I do start to go back and read, but I rarely rarely go back and read emails. So the courage to let go, because the pattern is for me to keep and hold on to things, because the just in case, that just in case I need it at a later date. But shifting that into trust that you will, if you need that thing, it'll come into your field again. It'll come into your world. Someone will say something that will spark the connection to that person again, or that business, or that whatever it is. So it's really important that we do this as a practice, that it's not a one and done. Decluttering and simplifying is a way of life. It's a way of continuously shedding, like the trees are about to start doing and have started to do here, letting go of those leaves, and renewing each year. And just like our skin sheds all the time, we're always renewing ourselves. So too the environment we live in. We have been taught to accumulate and to consume and to hold on to, and there's not enough. And if someone has this amount, then I can't. There's all these conversations and stories we have about scarcity and lack. And when we can shift that and see the abundance in this world, and the abundance in nature, and the abundance and in that renewal process, and when we have the courage to simplify and let go a little bit, like pushing up slightly to a little bit of edginess beyond what you would normally, if there's something you want to hold on to. And I use the 2020 rule, which is, if something costs €20 or less and can be reacquired in about 20 minutes, from a nearby shop or online in a quick search, that can be let go of, because it's easy to acquire again down the line, and it won't cost you an awful lot to reacquire it, or you can get it secondhand. And that just allows the mind to have that assurance that you can reacquire that thing, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. So testing out your capacity with the 2020 rule, and allowing yourself to shed those things and go. So as I said, like, nudge past your comfort zone a little bit. So not completely where you're going to be so stressed that you've let something go and you've decluttered and let go of it and it's gone forever and oh no, but enough that you are stretching yourself somewhat into a realm where you are leaning more into trust than you are into lack and scarcity. And pay attention to, when you have decluttered this small area, small drawer, whatever it is, what happens in the coming days, weeks, months after that. Like, what shifts externally? Is anything different happening? Yeah. So it's really such a lovely opportunity now to let go, to really focus and spend a bit of time. It doesn't have to be long. It can be a few minutes, for the next few days. Set your timer for 10 minutes each day or evening, or when you would usually scroll on your phone, like 10 minutes, that's all. And go to an area where, the whole table maybe has loads of stuff piled on top of it. Guaranteed it won't take as long as you think it's going to take. It's really amazing what can happen when we create these specific, for me, it's specific amounts of time. I always talk about the timer, setting a timer, because that really gives, again, it's all about creating safety for the nervous system and for the mind that thinks, oh, this job is a huge job, I'll never be able to do it. And I have that all the time and continuously with the dishwasher, with putting on washes, with hanging out clothes. I'm like, oh, it's going to take ages. Like this old story of it takes ages to do these things. But actually, if I put on a timer and time myself rather than a countdown timer, I put a stopwatch, usually takes me about 3 to 5 minutes to empty the dishwasher, usually 2 to 3 minutes. And to hang out the clothes takes a few minutes as well. And it's like, wow, my mind creates these stories where it takes, 30 minutes for each of these tasks, or endless. They're just endless time. And so really creating safety for ourselves around that, but also building the muscle of letting go. And, this holding on, and it causes constriction, contraction. It does this, like you feel your whole energy just closing in. And it's like, when we can open up, release, and this doesn't mean like get rid of all the stuff in your house. Keep the trinkets you love, keep the things that light you up. It's not about how much stuff we have, because some people like to have loads of stuff in their house, but they love all those things, and they all those things light them up. Whereas other people need to have clear spaces. It helps with their mindset and their calmness. Both of those things are fine, and anywhere in between. There's no There's no rule for this, and don't look on Instagram, and don't, look at all the people who tell you to use these perfect containers and all the matching containers, matching everything. It's so stressful, and so it's achievable if that's something the aesthetics are important as well. But as a bar to measure yourself against, just let go of that. Really, what works for you and your individual life in your home, how you like to be in your space, what brings calm to you, and making sure, really assessing the objects in your surrounding, and and hold them as well, because when you hold them, you can feel the energy a bit clearer. And like, just tune in as you lift up different objects around your home. Just test it out with a few things. Something that has a bit more sentimental value, that's been handed down to the family through years, or that someone has given you as a present, versus a fork that is just a random fork that you've had, you got somewhere really cheaply. Something like that. Notice energetically, just close your eyes, and what happens in your body when you hold each of those items. Because what happens is, if we have things in our home that we are holding on to because someone gave it to us as a present, or it's been handed down to us, but if we do not like those things, and if they give us a sense of guilt, or they give us a sense of some perceived negative feeling, every time we put our eyes on that object, it is giving us and our body a sense of a ping. And that is just wearing us down over time. It's so subtle. You can barely perceive it, but it's really important. So I would invite you to scan when you're sitting down later on, if you can sit down. If you have young kids, maybe you can't. But if you have a chance to sit down and scan your environment, and really notice what's in your environment, what's where, and allowing yourself to let go of things that aren't serving you anymore. They may have in the past, they may have, last year, but maybe now. What way do you want your life to be? What way do you want to feel in your home? What way do you want to feel in your day-to-day life, out and about, in your relationships, with your energy? And really create your preferences around how you want to be from now on. And noticing that things will have to be shed. We have to let go of that we have to exfoliate our skin, we have to exfoliate our environment. And let's do it like a perfect time now, as the trees are starting to let go. We can really reflect that in nature, in ourselves, and letting go, and seeing what space we can create, and feeling into the edges of having created the space in our homes, and how that feels in the body. And really, can we sit with that slight discomfort of having created space and having let that thing go, and just play, have fun, experiment. As always, it's a game. Like, it doesn't have to be serious. It can be playing, experimenting, seeing how your human body responds to letting go of stuff, how your energy responds, how you respond to the people in your life, what changes as you shed what no longer serves you. Like, really, it's magical what can happen when you can let go of things, not buy into the belief that we're told again and again and again on the daily basis, everywhere we look, that we need more to be a better version of ourselves. We need more. We need to consume this. We need to buy this. We need to spend money on that. It's just endless. And it's not true. It's not true. The more we can stand in our power, stand in our worth, know that we are enough, we are worthy exactly as we are in this moment. There's no buts, no ifs. Oh, but I've been this sort of person, I have done this. No, exactly as we are is the way it's supposed to be. And looking anywhere outside of ourselves for our sense of self and our sense of worth is an exhausting way to live. So when we can let go, when we can really center ourselves and take pause and decide how we want to live our life, us personally, not looking at our friends, not looking at our family, but us, what works for us, what doesn't, and really anchoring into that and trusting that you have the wants, desires, thoughts that you have on purpose. That is what makes you you, because each of us has unique ones. Okay, there's overlapping ones between lots of people, but we have our own unique set of things and ways to live, and things that light us up, and things that we love talking about, that spark joy, that really like expand our energy, make us feel fizzy. And we all have our own unique version of that, and it's about tapping into that for ourselves. And we cannot do that if we are surrounded by clutter and stuff that's not serving us, stuff that's weighing us down, like the heaviness of having that sort of stuff in our physical environment, and the stories, in our head as well. What if we could say, let's just try on a different story. Let's try on something new, try on a new way of being. Then being conscious as well when we go out about what we're consuming and what we, when we want to buy something, we have that pang to buy something. What is driving that pang? Is it an actual need for this thing, or is it a suppression of something that we don't want, like some sort of a feeling or an emotion that's there that we don't want to fully feel, and we are finding a way to soothe ourselves. And that's your own exploration as well. Doesn't need to be shared with anybody else. It's again, play, have fun, explore, tweak, test things out, have a bit of fun with yourself, like what works, what doesn't, and how you can lean more into the abundance, possibility, limitlessness of this life, and boundlessness. And that comes with the creating space for amazing things to come our way. So have a go this week and take a small area, take a small drawer or a shelf or whatever it is. Like I was saying at the beginning, non-emotional, something that can really be gone through quite methodically and easily without, making a yes/no decision as you go, holding the things, noticing the energy you're feeling. And yes, see what happens after you let go and get the stuff out. Do not keep the stuff in the house. It needs to go the next day. Let go of the story. Oh, I'll wait until I've done another 3 drawers or that room, and then I'll bring everything to the charity shop, or I'll bring everything to if it's the bin, or if it's wherever the stuff needs to go, or it needs to go to a friend or whatever. Do it as soon as possible, because that energy needs to be removed from your environment. So yeah, let me know how you go. Enjoy this lovely Virgo season and the new moon energy and the eclipse energy, and allow yourself to shed what is no longer yours, what you don't need anymore, what you are unwilling to accept anymore, anything you're doing that is beyond the way you should be living, and that your body knows and your soul knows you want to be living. And yeah, this makes for a better world for all of us. We interact better with the people around us. When we are more ourselves and declutter and let go to discover more of ourselves, we can fill up the people around us as well. Not only ourselves, but people around us. It just spills out, and it's the most wonderful feeling. So let me know how you go. And if you need help along the way, I have a free guide for decluttering, which involves some intention setting at the beginning. That's really important, how we prefer things to be, what our intentions are for our space in our life. It only needs to take a few minutes to write that down, but write it down, the act of writing it down or speaking it into a voice note or something, that the action of setting your intentions, stating your intentions is really important. And then within the PDF, there's also some hints and tips, just to get like practical hints and tips to get you started decluttering. And there is a whole list as well of very easy to let go items that can be decluttered really quickly and without emotion, and to get you started and to get that decluttering going again if you haven't done it in a while or if you've never done it. So you can download that up at the link below, and I will talk to you next time. Enjoy. Happy decluttering, happy simplifying, and feel the liberation and the joy and the freedom and the abundance and everything on the other side. And I will see you soon. Thank you for joining me on this journey to wild simplicity. If today's episode inspired you to let go, simplify, and reconnect with your truest self, I would love for you to share it and help spread the word. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode, and follow along on Instagram at Wild Simplicity for more inspiration. Remember, life is precious and you have the power to live it fully, freely, and fiercely. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep seeking, and keep embracing the wild possibilities of life.